Hello, and welcome to the second bonus episode of Chorus Place. I'm so glad you've chosen to join me for today's conversation. In today's episode, I'll be talking about my favorite memories from working at camp for the summer of 2023 and stories of laughter from that season. As always, if you like what you hear, please leave a review and/or comments, follow my podcast, and tell your friends. Also, please follow the podcast page I've made on Facebook. If you would like to contact me via email instead of a Facebook message, you can email me at corachin@mailbox.org. If you are new here, welcome. I'm your host, Cora, and I'm so excited to have you on this journey with me. Today, I want to tell you about my favorite memories from this summer and the stories of laughter that happened while working at the camp. I have already shared some of my favorite memories in the last episode, but I wanted to share more here in this episode. I laughed a lot while at the camp, or even just over the summer. Sometimes uncontrollably too, and that was fun. One particular moment where I laughed uncontrollably was when I went home for a few days during the summer. I didn't go directly home that time because of an unexpected situation, and I'll explain why in an episode to come, but when I did finally make it home after a couple nights of being out of town, I started laughing at something hysterically and could not stop. I don't remember what it was that made me laugh or why I was laughing that hard, but I think at least part of the reason I was laughing so hard is because I was really exhausted at that point, so pretty much anything could have made me laugh. I was laughing so hard that I had tears running down my face. I don't really ever laugh like that. I guess an easy way for me to laugh like that is to be completely exhausted. I'm not sure why, but for some reason, when I was at the camp, I would get extremely giggly at mealtimes. It could have just been tiredness, or I could have just been enjoying being there. Maybe even both reasons. Laughing is so fun. Another story of when I laughed pretty hard was when some of my friends and I were out driving and singing along to music at the top of our lungs, the story I mentioned in the last episode. I think I had looked over at the person sitting next to me, and I guess we must have given each other a weird look or something, because I started laughing really hard after that, and had tears starting to form in my eyes from laughing so hard. It took me a little while to settle down after that. Sometimes over the summer, I would also make random egg jokes too, and that was funny. The final story of laughter I want to share before I move on to talking about more memories is that I formed one of the new friendships really fast because she had told me a really funny story about someone and we made our own little inside joke with it. So whenever we say it to each other on the phone or text it to each other now, we both laugh. Then we added a second part to the beginning of it from something someone at the camp would say sometimes at meals. She and I became friends so fast because of that story she told me and the inside joke we made from it. I love that joke so much. That friendship is definitely one I want to keep for a very long time. Some of my other favorite memories were listening to music while cleaning the dining hall after meals, going on hayrack rides, going to staff would get to attend chapel with the campers, just talking together with people, going to different places on the weekend, going to church with the staff, drinking hot chocolate on Sunday mornings at church with caramel chocolate creamer in it, which is actually a really delicious combination, sitting in the service at church, and going out to eat a couple of times. On our last night together, we went to the river that is close to the camp to watch the sunset and hang out. We got ice cream at McDonald's, and we watched a movie once we got back from the river. I fell asleep for a little bit during the movie. I actually fell asleep on the floor that time. I think I was just so tired that I could have fallen asleep anywhere at that point. I didn't even realize how tired I was until sitting down to watch the movie. I went back and forth between laying on the floor and sitting on the floor. I tried to pay attention to the movie that night, but I think I was just so tired that I eventually just had to give in to sleep for a brief period of time. The river was a lot of fun though. We skipped rocks, talked, and just enjoyed the sunset together. I got some pictures of the sunset, but they didn't really turn out the way I had wanted. It was a really pretty sunset though. On the days some people left to go back to their houses, we got to sleep in some. We had scones, eggs, and bacon for breakfast. We all packed our stuff. We cleaned upstairs in the staff building, said our goodbyes, and then people either left or continued hanging out. It was a little hard and weird for me when I left that day because I'd gotten used to being at the camp without my family for so long. It was nice to sleep in my own bed again that night though. I was so excited to hug my dad that day because I didn't really get to see him much over the summer. I saw my mom and siblings a little more over the summer than I saw him. I hugged my dad so tight and for so long. It was one of the best feelings in the whole world. I definitely had missed my dad all summer, After getting all my stuff loaded into the car, we met one of my mom's friends for a late lunch and then went home. Once we made it home, I unpacked my stuff and went to bed. Being back with my family was a little overwhelming for a little while at first, but it has gotten better with time. It still gets a little overwhelming at times. I think part of why it would get that way is because all of my siblings would want to talk to me all at once, or just be really energetic, and it was a little much. I mean, sometimes I am really energetic and talkative, but I think it has gotten better as I've gotten older. I still struggle with it at times though, especially when I'm really excited about something. I didn't get as much sleep at the camp as I would usually get, so I was definitely tired and sleep deprived when I made it home. Now that I'm home, I sleep longer and better every night than I did at camp. I'm very happy to finally be getting better and longer sleep every night. There have been a few nights since coming home that I've had trouble sleeping though. I really enjoyed being at the camp and attending the church with the staff over the summer, but being home and back at my own church has also been good too. The memories I made this summer are ones I definitely want to keep and cherish forever. I only came home twice over the summer, but it was still good to get away for a little bit. The first time I came home, I was only home for about 24 hours or so, and then the second time, I was gone for the camp for 5 nights, but I was only home in my own bed for 3 of those because I had to go out of town for a little bit, like I mentioned in the last episode, but it was nice to still be in my own bed. I was originally supposed to be gone from the camp, that time for 4 nights, but then a situation happened and I had to be gone an extra night. I'll explain why in an episode to come. It was a little sad to miss a little extra of the work week than originally planned, but it was also good to get back to my own bed for a little bit too. Being home after the whole camp season finished has definitely taken a lot of adjusting and time to get back into the routines of everything, but I'm more used to it now. I'm still trying to adjust a little as of the recording of this episode, but it has gotten better as time has gone on. Unfortunately, I was sick for a few days after coming home, but thankfully, I never got sick at the camp, even despite sickness running through some of the staff a couple of times. Being sick on top of trying to adjust to being back home with my family was hard. God helped and is continuing to help me through the adjustment, and I'm so thankful that He is by my side every minute of every day. I would not have been able to get through the hard moments or times when I was really tired this summer at the camp without His love, kindness, mercy, grace, strength, help, guidance, patience, peace, and presence carrying me through. There were a couple of days during our final week where I really had to rely on God's strength because I was really tired physically, which was probably caused from being really busy all summer and not getting as much sleep as I'm used to. I had a hard time making it through those first couple of days of the final week without caffeine or a nap, but it did get better energy-wise after a little while. It just took some time. One final memory I thought of as I was writing this episode is that our staff girls gathered in the hallway outside of our bedrooms upstairs in the staff building just before going to bed a few times over the summer. We would talk about the good moments or not so good moments about our day, our favorite meal from the day or week, the way we saw God that day. A couple of examples would be a specific thing He created, like the sunset, or something surprising that happened that day, or something He taught us in our personal devotions throughout the day, to read a chapter in Psalms or Proverbs and pray together. It was so fun. I really enjoyed doing that and wish we could have done that more often. It was just hard when we were all really tired. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please follow, leave a comment and or review of my podcast if you haven't already, and please follow my podcast page on Facebook so you never miss an update. If you have any verses you'd like me to read on a future episode, or if you have any topics you'd like me to talk about, you can email me at corachin@mailbox.org, send me a message on my podcast page on Facebook, or a voice message through the link in the show notes, and I will get back to you when I can. Hope you tune in next week for the 3rd bonus episode.